What's going on, everybody? My name is Ahmed. Originally from Maryland. And my celebrity crush is, I'm gonna go with Alina Baraz.
Respect that. What's up, y'all? My name is Luis. From Gwinnett County. Maybe born in London.
Good one.
My name is Nevins. I'm from Boston, and I'm gonna go with Easter.
Easter egg?
Yeah.
That's unique.
Hi, my name is Christian. I'm from the District of Columbia, actually in DC, not suburbs. And Neil Long.
Neil Long? Oh, which one? Like Friday? Or we talking about Love Jones?
Love you.
My name is Charles Berry. I'm from St. Louis, and it would have to be Halle Berry.
Halle Berry? Raising Isaiah? I mean, losing Isaiah? Or that? No.
My name is John. I'm from New Hampshire. I guess my celebrity crush is also Zoe Kravitz. So.
You guys look like Edward a little bit, the one from Batman.
Really? I guess I'm all yeah.
My name is K.O. My iPad. Most of the influential people of African descent. And my celebrity crush.
Halle Berry.
My name is Ikechi. I'm the founder of Tribal Memorial Houston, and my celebrity crush is Rihanna. Sure.
Hi, my name is Nadia. I'm from Athens, Georgia. I'm from and I don't have a celebrity crush. This is my first, my main crush.
That's a good save like that.
Yes, my name is George Smith. I'm from Nassau, Virginia, a little small town. I don't remember either.
You like what shit?
Hi, my name is Brian. I'm from Jersey, and gotta go with SZA.
SZA? I've never heard that answer.
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia, and my celebrity crush would be Angelina Jolie.
Everybody, my name is Kareem. I'm from Queens, New York. My celebrity crush would be Gabrielle Union.
Respect.
What's up, everybody? My name is Cameron Mitchell from Ellenwood, Georgia. My celebrity crush is Salma Hayek.
Frida?
Hey, my name is Jay. I'm from Miami, and my celebrity crush is Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky.
My name is Jack. I'm from Bronx, New York, by way of beginning. My celebrity crush is Elizabeth Cambridge. Yeah, she's fine and she can do it.
Oh, we got a few more down here. That's about time. Don't be alarmed.
Hey everyone, my name is Caroline Villegas. I am Colombian, but I've been in Atlanta since ever. And my celebrity crush is Camilo. He's a Hispanic artist.
Okay.
My name is Aisha. I'm from Toronto, and my celebrity crush is Shamar Moore.
My name's Don. I'm from California originally, and I've been trying to think this whole time. And I literally don't know. I think I like real people. My name is Sean Walker. I'm from a little small town called Ranch, Georgia, outside of Augusta, Georgia, and my celebrity crush is Gugu Mbatha Raw. From Concussion, from Beyond the Lights. Beyond the Lights.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody in here? What about you guys just ended? So, real quick, since I'm sorry to put y'all on the spot, since y'all just answered, so what everybody's been doing in here is saying what their name is, where they're from, who's their celebrity crush. That's okay.
My name is Johnny Solis from Atlanta, Georgia. That's a question.
I'm from the Lake House.
All right, really, so the whole purpose of us doing that particular icebreaker in general is just for everyone to get an idea of who everyone is in this room, but also I want everybody to feel comfortable with asking questions. I know a lot of this information can be somewhat overwhelming and intimidating, and sometimes we don't want to ask a question because we don't want to look silly. We have a fear of looking, dumb asking certain questions or feeling like it may be a stupid question. It's no stupid question. This right here is what we call the Wild Wild West. So, feel free to ask questions. Hopefully y'all are comfortable. And then also, I know some people that still haven't answered that question that I asked, so we're gonna have Iris come up and say where she's from, who she is, and who's her celebrity crush.
Hey everybody, my name is Iris, co-founder and CEO of Medima. Celebrity crush. Man, I feel like it's always changing. Will Smith?
Chris Rock.
Despite Chris Rock's spot. I am. So, Medima is an NFT studio. We are focused on not only creating art, creating beautiful art in collaboration with artists, but also strengthening and diversifying the NFT ecosystem and interactive programming. Programming means events, experiences, exhibits, eventually we want to start doing trips. We've done an incubator program before, and we're just continuing to build out more and more programming and to partner with brands and NFT projects from Web3 to do this programming. So the goal of this workshop is really to help people orient themselves around NFTs, Web3, the Metaverse. So this workshop is really an onboarding tool, but it's really just a first step if you're new to NFTs. We will have workshops in the future. We have online events 6 days a week where we talk about various NFT-related topics, and we provide space for people to network and build relationships. So we have a whole host of programming that you can tap into. We also have a Discord community, and we have a newsletter. So I highly, highly recommend scanning the QR code. You'll see it on some of the different posters. Scanning the QR code and joining our newsletter, joining our Discord. If you go to umadima.com, you can find the community page and information about how you can onboard into our community and participate in our programming. We're very proud of the work that we've done. We've been able to support a number of people in onboarding into the NFT space, particularly artists, particularly Black and African artists. And you've seen how being a part of this ecosystem has been able to change people's lives, whether it's finding new careers, whether it's being able to launch companies, whether it's being able to sell art and earn income that was just far beyond what artists are used to earning before. There's just a lot of opportunity in this industry, and we want to make sure that people of color, women, LGBTQ folks, like people from non-English countries, that people of all different backgrounds are able to take advantage of this ecosystem, and so that's largely why we use it. Right? My personal background is very broad. I started off as a teacher and also a community organizer in South Florida. Eventually, I transitioned into becoming a software engineer, then an engineering manager, and then I founded Medima, and now I do this full time. So I have a mixture of community organizing work, experience, education, and also technical background and experience. So we're going to start off today with a brief overview of NFTs, and then we will transition into the topic, which is Metaverse, for this workshop. We have 2 guest speakers who will come and do presentations, and then we'll do Q&A at the end. Please hold your questions for the end, and remember, there's no stupid question. We're all here to learn, we're all here to share and grow together. Here's a quick rundown of the workshop agenda. We did our icebreaker. I'm going to do a intro to NFTs. Then we'll have relationship between the Metaverse and Crypto by Jovanni, and then passive income opportunities in the Metaverse by Fits Hall. At the end, we'll share information for a survey to to win a free NFT. The NFT right now is worth 1.5 ETH, which is around $4,500. So it's a good amount of, it's a very valuable NFT, and it will be really exciting to give that away. Just to touch on again, our vision, I'm just gonna run through this visual really quickly. So we focus on making unique, multidisciplinary art that tells powerful stories and innovates using NFT technology. We build collaborative, multicultural, we're building a collaborative, multicultural, and multi-language network that produces great Web3 talent and leaders. We are onboarding diverse people and communities into Web3 through NFTs and experiential programs. And we are also incentivizing, promoting, supporting, and rewarding the people who participate in our programs. All right, so what is an NFT? Just a show of hands, how many of you are completely new to NFTs, and if someone were to ask you what is it, you wouldn't feel comfortable explaining it? Just show of hands.
So you would feel comfortable?
Wouldn't feel comfortable. One more time. All right, so NFT stands for non-fungible token, okay? Non-fungible simply means unique. Token means digital asset, okay? Just like Bitcoin, just like the ETH, these are all digital assets, digital tokens. And then the key thing about non-fungible tokens is that they are not able to be replicated, okay? So if you look at Bitcoin, for example, or Dogecoin, right? Every single Dogecoin, every single Bitcoin has the same value, just like every single dollar bill has the same value. With an NFT, you're talking about a digital asset where every single NFT is unique, okay? And so that's where the majority of the value derives from. In addition to other things, it's the fact that it's a singular asset that cannot be replaced. And it has a signature, a unique signature on the blockchain. And then blockchain technology allows us to track all of the transactions that are happening with any specific NFT. Okay, so if you go to a platform, for example, where people are buying and selling NFTs, you can see all of the different trades, all of the transactions, all of the price action. You can also see, in many cases, the metadata that's underlying the NFT. These are some key terms that I recommend everybody learn. Take a picture, do some research. If you're not familiar with any of these terms, I highly recommend studying them, and these will help you to be much better at understanding the ecosystem. We also have paper and pencil up here if anybody wants some. Did somebody pass them out just in case? I don't want to spend too long on this, but before I move on to the next one, let's just cover maybe 2 words. Can somebody pick a word that they're not familiar with, and we'll break it down?
Reserve price?
Reserve price, awesome. Is there anybody in the room that wants to give a shot at explaining what that means?
I would compare it to I would say it's the minimum price that the NFT maker is willing to sell the NFT for. So if the reserve price is $1,000, it won't be sold for less than that, but it can always be sold for more, similar to like, I guess what eBay used to do. A seller could set the reserve price at $14, and they could be guaranteed that it would not sell for less than that price.
Great explanation. One of the key things about NFTs is that there's different ways to buy them. So you can, and it depends on how the artist or the creator lists it for sale. So someone can either buy it outright if they list it that way, or you can put it up for auction. When NFTs put up for auction, that means that people have to place bids, and then depending on how many bids there are, there might be a sequence of bids before the highest bidder wins. So the reserve price is used for auctions, and the reserve price, as you mentioned, is the minimum price that the artist is willing to accept. One more word. Anybody?
I can't see the last one. What was the last one?
This one? Bidding war?
What is that?
It's bidding war, and a bidding war is essentially when an auction is taking place and two or more bidders are going back and forth. Okay, so one keeps outbidding the other. Sometimes there might be 2, 3, 4, 5 collectors that are bidding back and forth. Bidding wars can be very exciting. I've definitely seen a few of them myself. I recall one bidding war where the NFT, I believe, was listed for something really low, like maybe 2 ETH. And then there were a few bids, and it went up to about 10 or 15 ETH, and then it just started jumping to like 50 ETH, 80 ETH, 100 ETH, 300 ETH, and then it ended up selling, I don't remember the number in ETH, but in US dollars, it was about $2 million. And a number of people in our community were just kind of watching this bidding war happen in real time. And they launched a clubhouse room, and everybody was talking about it and watching the bidding war live. All right. Any other questions about the reserve price or the bidding war?
Over the reserve price, does it mean the same as the floor price?
No, it is different actually. So the reserve price, again, is the minimum that the artist is willing to accept as a bid. And then the floor price refers to the lowest price of an NFT in a collection. Okay, so if an artist drops a collection, let's say of 100 NFTs, and the cheapest one is, let's say, half an ETH, then the floor price is half an ETH. All right. The metaverse. Our next speaker is Jovanni, who will be talking about the relationship between the metaverse and crypto. Is he ready to go?
Go.
Loud enough? First off, thank you, Iris, for the opportunity. Where's the other? Okay. So hopefully you guys walk away with something from this talk. That's always the main goal. So who was this person?
Cedar.
What was Cedar?
She was on BET.
Wow. What was Cedar doing on BET?
She was hosting music.
She was pretty much like a video DJ or something like that. She was like a 106 in Park host for another program on BET. I always like to refer to this because, you know, yeah, it was a program, but this was like full motion capture on the body. It was like full inverse kinematics, which was pretty cool. It's pretty ahead of its time. I really don't know who the actress was, but she could figure that out. So, you know, I like to say she was the first person in the metaverse as a joke. But what I like to do is separate these two definitions of the metaverse. I made these definitions, but I see this bifurcation between these two definitions. So on one side, you have the concept of the metaverse. And I say here, a natural evolution of the internet with a focus on immersion and personalization. I will go deeper into that. And what I also say here is that it is not a new internet. People tend to say that, and that's a misnomer. Because the metaverse, it uses the internet as a backbone. It's not a new, it's still on the application level of the OSI model. This is just a networking term to say what's the protocol stack of the internet. And including Web3, right? Web3 is peer-to-peer, but in order for me to talk to you, if I'm not on the same network, right, I need to use the internet. And on the other side of that, you have the marketing term of the metaverse. Facebook changed its name to what? Meta, for a reason. They're trying to become, all my thoughts, they're trying to become synonymous with this concept of the metaverse. And what's interesting is this notion of the metaverse, it also includes companies digitizing their products. Like you see these companies applying for trademarks on like digital versions of the sneakers they sell, something like that. But another point is that the metaverse is not one place, like one location, right? Like the internet is not one location. The internet is a bunch of connected things, right? So I think it helps to kind of think of the metaverse this way. Oh, and it didn't, where's Iris? They didn't have the new slide in there either, but it's all good. Yeah. So, side note, I brought an Oculus today. Sorry, this is loud. I brought an Oculus today to pretty much put it on and show you how I can broadcast my avatar live over the internet. I can stream it onto Instagram Live, I can put it on YouTube Live, but if I just have a gaming laptop and an Oculus, I can stream it from inside a specific game, and really that game is a variable because I can make my own game. But the point is, I'm in a game, right? So just like how the internet is in one website, also the metaverse is not one game. You got Horizon Worlds, all these things, right? So here's some popular crypto metaverses, right? Decentraland, Gala's a whole company, right? But that's a legacy game that they have coming out. Sandbox. Keep in mind, all of this stuff is a game, and all of the actual items inside the game and any artifact can be represented as an NFT. And if you do that, now you have a direct tie, right, to crypto. But a lot of these games, they incorporate this NFT aspect into a bunch of different types of artifacts, from power-ups to quote-unquote real estate to weapons, etc. Am I good on time, by the way? Okay, just stop me if I run out of time. So this is interesting. How is crypto even being used in the metaverse? You have these crypto-based games, but the big quote-unquote metaverses now. You have one that's VR chat, which is what I was going to show you, but another one you have Horizon Worlds. How many people actually have an Oculus in the game? Okay, have you guys played Horizon Worlds? I'm sure, right? Okay. Horizon Worlds is by Meta. Meta also has like venues, which is like musicians and speakers and stuff. But then they also have workrooms for like meetings in the metaverse. But Facebook's trying to become synonymous with this concept of the metaverse, but they're really dropping game after game, if you think about it, because they are independent titles. But overall, you guys are pretty early when it comes to crypto and the metaverses. Because all these games that I showed you here, none of these are VR. None of them. So the majority of metaverses aren't even VR yet. So you guys are really early for that. And this is interesting. So Horizon Worlds, as you guys know, they just released their payment method, right? Where now you can accept payment inside the metaverse. But still, there's zero implementation for crypto so far. Even though Meta is rumored to drop a wallet this year, which would be cool. The thing I was going to show you, which is VR chat, that's been out since 2017. I had an Oculus in 2013, so that's an OG in the metaverse space, but you know, it's still early. The cool thing about VR chat versus Horizon Worlds is I can make a whole avatar. One of the slides that they did in an update here is me as Goku from Dragon Ball Z, and I can switch out the avatar at any point in time, and I can create my own that looks like me. Okay. Whew. So this is interesting because people here show me that money. There are some opportunities for entrepreneurs in the metaverse space. So, like you guys hear all the time, you can always launch your own connection, right? That's a whole talk by itself. Why, etc. Flipping NFTs is also something that people do quite often. A lot of people who've gotten really wealthy off NFTs, that's one methodology that they use. But here's some ones that I hope you never heard of. If you don't remember anything else from this talk, remember these three things. So, utility NFTs are interesting because anybody heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club? Okay, everybody heard of that. I think didn't they just open up a restaurant called like Bored and Hungry or something like that?
Yeah, California.
Come on. I don't even have to explain it. For people who don't know, they pretty much made an NFT collection. Now they're using NFTs in some real world application, right? It's just data sitting somewhere, you can invoke it, so it's really not difficult. But that's a really cool idea. This is something that I really want everybody to remember. I call these NFT 2.0s. They're called RFTs, refundable tokens. So the reason why they're refundable is because you take this concept of an NFT, a non-fungible token, and instead of having a person own it, you make a contract own it. So a smart contract will own the NFT, and a smart contract will issue out shares via ERC20 token. All of these ICOs, all tokens, etc. on Ethereum or any network or protocol that runs on an EVM, any token runs this standard of ERC20. So when you give a contract the capability to issue out tokens, ERC20 tokens, when it obtains or holds the NFT on behalf of the shareholders, now you can divide up an NFT. Because one of the problems with the NFT spec is that it can only be owned by one address. This is special, and this has been around for a while. Oh, question? Yeah, go ahead.
Is that
anybody can ask questions about it? Go ahead.
Is that same as fractionalizing?
It's exactly that. This is a specification that hasn't even been adopted yet, but you see this implementation a lot. So there's platforms out there that do this stuff, right? But this is a specific specification. Lastly, I want you to remember this: non-fungible liquidity pools. How many people know what a liquidity pool is? It's a pool of money. Okay. This pool of money, typically owned by some set of contracts or some protocol. Typically with liquidity pools, the tokens that are held in it are fungible, meaning they all are equivalent in value. This is an advanced version of a liquidity pool because now you can start having conditions that have to be met by the liquidity pool, like it must maintain at least 100 purple apes in its liquidity pool. Whole different concept than me just forcing a certain amount of tokens to be held. Remember those three things. Okay, last slide. So, how many people write code in this room? Okay, awesome. Awesome. Everybody should raise their hand in the future, but we're not gonna go there. Trust me, writing code will change your life, but. So, if you write code though, you have some unique opportunities that everybody else in the room doesn't have. If you write code, for example, in the DeFi space, if you write code, you can borrow $100 million with zero collateral right now via code, zero collateral. And it's not free, you pay a premium. But per every $1 million that I borrow, I have to pay $900 to pay it back. So if I borrow $1 million and I make a play with it, if I make $901 back, I mean, ignoring gas fees, right? That's crazy, that's a superpower. That is one of the first financial instruments in the DeFi space that does not have a real world equivalent. Anyways, if you know how to code, if you know how to code, you can build bots. There's some interesting opportunities when you build bots. These three names some. The notion of front running is if I submit a transaction, before it gets accepted by the network, it's in what we call the memory pool. Anybody can see that memory pool and see my transaction I just sent. If you, as a clever developer, see my transaction, issue the same transaction because you see I got the play that I'm about to make, if you pay a higher gas fee based on these gas auctions, programmatic gas auctions, you can front run me, get the play before my transaction is even executed, and make the money that I worked so hard to figure out how to make. Same thing with back running. If I see that you're about to send a transaction that to make a new token, I can back run you, for example, like write another transaction to, let's say, buy up 90% of your cheap token that you just made. These are attacks that people actually run out and carry out. Sandwiching is when somebody has a play that takes n number of transactions, and you jump in the middle and try to scalp something. Swiping NFTs is another thing that people do, where if you know the same people that launched Bored Ape Yacht Club are releasing another token, and you anticipate that people are going to buy it, you can literally monitor the creator addresses or the dev address, and then condition a new transaction based off them, releasing that new collection, therefore buying it at a really low price, flipping it. You can do that automatically. Okay, almost done. You can also monitor platforms. I could build a bot, you did this, that monitors OpenSea to see that when everything is dropping. And now I don't have to go into it, but you can imagine what that would do. And I'm stressing this again, it's not fungible liquidity pool, because it's only the recent versions of these decentralized exchanges that even allow for this capability. So you're gonna hear a lot about this in the future from a hacking perspective and from just business. This is the last thing I want everybody from this thing to take away. Add this to the list that Iris gave you of terms to study, and put this at number 2 behind blockchain. MEV is the acronym that you want to remember. Maximum extracted value. It originally stood for minor extractable value. Because what it is if miners get paid in fees, right, from the transactions, there's also added benefit that is left unclaimed on-chain, without going into detail. And you can extract value via programmatic means by bots. And you can do it via like arbitrage, where you're like monitoring two decentralized exchanges and scalping the difference between tokens. And you can do it through liquidation, where you see if somebody has an outstanding debt out that's under collateralized, and you pretty much buy their debt position and take a percentage of their collateral as a reward. So, minor extractable value or maximum. Please look that up. It'll change your life. And also learn how to code. You know how to code. That's it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to Fits Hall, by the way.
Thanks, Jovanni. What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all?
All right, good evening. Good evening, folks. My name is Fits, Financially Fits on Instagram. Please take your phones out. Follow me on Instagram right now. All right, I'm just pulling up some stuff. I want y'all to, as I'm speaking, or at some point, I'm gonna pass this around to show some validation. And some things that you guys may or may not find interesting. Who knows? What's that? I don't need it. Oh, well, they got good. Who knows? How does it work?
Is it left and right?
Left and right. Cool.
You said what was your name?
Fits. On Instagram, it's Financially Fits. No, I am not DMing you, asking you how your trading is going, or anything like that. All right. So earlier, Rashawn was saying, introduce yourself and tell who your celebrity crush is. So my name is Fitz. I'm from Savannah, Georgia as well. And my celebrity crush is Jada, who's also from Savannah. Right? I don't really have too many celebrity crushes, so don't judge me. All right, I need y'all to wake up a little bit, though. I know we talking about NFTs and crypto and all that, but y'all over here sitting here looking at me. Y'all came all the way at y'all house. Come down here, park in the middle of Buckhead, right? And y'all look like y'all ain't got no type of energy. Y'all working out? All right, cool. So, what I'm gonna talk about today, and you guys are gonna notice that I'm gonna do a lot of talking, and I intentionally left these slides as slim as possible because I want y'all to be active and either take notes, and when I'm gonna say, you're gonna wanna take some notes, right? So, title of this section is how to use digital assets to supercharge your money literally overnight. Doesn't that sound interesting? Sound cap? Sound big cap, huh? All right, so who want to bet me that I can give you some sauce to make sure you increase your net worth within the next 24 hours? Who want to bet me? $100? Y'all saw that, right? That's the only one I'm trying to rack up. All right, cool. So I've been in crypto since 2016. I went full-time 2017. I've done a lot of things in crypto. I've made money in crypto probably 10 different ways. I probably understand crypto better than most people, right? Jovanni's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. Just in general, but especially when it comes to blockchain and crypto and things like that. And I can keep up with him from a technical level, so that means I must know a little something, right? And I'm not technical, just to kind of give you a little bit of background of who I am without going into too much detail because we don't have too much time, and I really need y'all to get this information. So what I've learned over that journey, and the reason why I highlighted that is because what I've learned is that people like myself and people like Jovanni and everybody else who's in crypto and NFTs and stuff, we love to talk about how passionate we are about it. We love to talk about the future, the possibilities, how cool it is, what we can do, all that good stuff, right? But let me ask you guys something. What's the one thing that everybody in this room strives for? Why are you getting money? Why do you want to get money?
Freedom. Time.
Exactly,
Wealth.
freedom, time, wealth, right? You want a good life. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. Right? Health, wealth, love, that's four, right? Health, wealth, love, and happiness. Sometimes I can't count. But we tend to focus on the wealth side, right? We tend to focus on the wealth side because we realize that if we get our finances together, we get our wealth together, then we can easily, it'll be more manageable, right, to go ahead and get the other three areas of our life in order. So, but what happens is, and I think this is when I can start using some of these things, all right? I don't really have time to go over this right here, so, actually, we'll get into it in a second, right? But what happens is we get so entwined in that rat race, whereas we get into that mode where we're like trying to get money. We gotta go get money, get money, get money. And then we get money, and guess what? Our expenses increase. So now what? We gotta go through this perpetual cycle to go get more money, right? And it never ends. I know all of us think that at some point we're just gonna make enough money to live forever. We're gonna be super rich, right? We're just gonna hit that one big lick or get that one good job or that one good business. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately, right? So the issue is, and I think I can go to right here, right? All right, so disregard anything I got up here, all right? We're about to go through some live exercises. So the issue is most of us forget that there's a recipe to getting to that good life. That recipe is making sure that you have a net worth, right? And your net worth is a measure of wealth. Wealth is how long you can live without earning without going to work for any more money, right? We forget that formula, net worth equals assets minus liabilities. Everybody know what assets are? What's an asset? Somebody.
That makes you money.
Boom. What's a liability?
Something that takes money away.
Exactly. Keep it super simple like that. Anything that costs you money, that's a liability. So assets minus liabilities, that's your net worth. Right? All right. So we forget that the key to get into the good life is breaking down that formula. So if we want to have a higher net worth, that means we need to have more assets than we have liabilities. The issue is, once again, we keep thinking that getting money is the solution. That money is not necessarily an asset that you want. You understand what I'm saying? That asset is depreciated. Y'all saw this when I said everything is up, wages stagnant, things don't work for us. Money is losing value in the most insidious way you've ever seen. You got $100,000 in your bank account today. Guess what? A year from now, it's going to say $100,000. But the issue is, it can't buy you what that $100,000 bought you 12 months ago. Right? So not only are we not focusing on the right things, not only are we not focusing on the right things, but we're also uneducated in regards to what to do with this money that we're making. And that's the big issue. We'll make money, we don't have nowhere to put it. You think in your mind one day you're gonna put it in some real estate, you think in your mind you're gonna put it in this business, but you don't have a set system, whereas every single dollar that you make has somewhere to go. I'm gonna tie this around the crypto and NFTs and stuff in a second. All right? So what I want you guys to do is, take out your phone, take out your calculators. Take out your calculators. I'm gonna help y'all out today. Help y'all out. So what we want to do is what we want to do, and before I get into that, I'm gonna go ahead and win my $100 real quick. Go ahead and win my 100. All right, so assets, more specifically, is not just any asset, because art is an asset, right? Most people in here probably, adore art, because we're here referencing NFTs, and NFTs are most notable for art, right? But guess what? So my brother back here, he has a lot of art, right? See this funny looking guy with dreads and the dessert shirt? How much art you got, man?
art?
Yeah, you got a lot of art?
Yeah, I got a good bit of art.
You got a good little bit of art. How much money is it producing?
Ain't producing nothing.
It's an asset though, right?
That's what they say.
It's an asset, but it ain't producing no income. Who got passive income in here? Who got more than one passive income in here? Source. Y'all need to talk to these people. ASAP, right? They figured it out. Most of us don't figure it out. That's a very small percentage in this whole room. Right? So it's not that we just have to focus on assets. We need to start focusing on cash or income producing assets. So when people ask me, where do I get started in crypto? That's what all this was leading up to. You get started in crypto by going in the direction that is most aligned with your overall objective, which is the good life, health, wealth, love, and happiness. So the reason why I say focus on that is because once you have passive income coming in, you can pretty much afford to make mistakes, take risks, do all of those things. Now, unlike real estate, businesses, and whatever other passive income source, and most of the time people think something is passive, but it's not truly passive, right? You still gotta go and tinker with this, or you gotta go and show up for this, or make sure somebody's doing this, right? Which is why real estate has really taken the lead from a passive income standpoint. You can go get $100, find a good property manager, you never have to look at that building again, it's just gonna run, produce cash flow. That's true passive income, right? You can get a business that's already running, right? But at the same time, when you get that business, most of us are not equipped to go and buy a whole business that's cash flowing enough for it to make sense. Just being honest, most people don't have the time for that. We already working. In comes this new asset class called digital assets. Digital assets, that's Bitcoin, that's Ethereum, Convex, Curve, right? You can even say Doge is a digital asset, all of them. Now there's different levels of quality of these digital assets, but guess what? How do you increase your net worth? No, not diversification. How do you increase your net worth? You increase your assets, right? What's the fastest way to increase your assets? Huh?
Appreciation.
You can buy more assets, right? That's the fastest way to get it.
Appreciation. Compounding.
Okay. Yeah, we got a little rambunctious group in here, right? Might have win that $100 real quick. So it's Bitcoin an asset? It's Ethereum an asset?
Yes.
Can you buy it right now on your phone?
Yes.
I need my money. Serious, man. No, but that's the revolutionary part behind crypto. So that's why I want you to focus on that, because you can increase your net worth on demand. And the reason you want to increase your net worth is because that's what gets you closer to passive income. Now, some of you guys may say, oh, Bitcoin isn't providing passive income, Ethereum isn't providing passive income. It is if you know how to use it. It is if you know how to use it. Right? So, what I want you guys to do, real quick, you got your calculator out. This is another big issue that we have. And I'm going to tie this into NFTs also, so don't worry. This is another big issue that we have. How much money, you don't have to say it out loud, but how much money do you need to survive? How much money, bare minimum, or not bare minimum, but how much money do you need to cover all of your expenses every month? Everything, rent, car note, baby mom, child support, you know, I got membership at, Rayshawn probably know. Who? Nah, that's not a squad. Nah. I'll tell y'all later. So I won't have something. Lifetime Fitness. All your expenses, man. Just get your number right? Multiply that by 12. Multiply that by 12. Because this is where the supercharging part come in at. I'm like, how you supercharge? This is where the supercharging part come in. We already made the case for instantly increasing your net worth on demand using digital assets. Now I'm about to educate you and show you how it supercharges your ability to get there. So you got your number multiplied by 12. Can I start hearing some numbers so I can make sure y'all doing it? 30,000. All right, what else? We got another one. 33,000. 54, okay. 54, 33. I wish I had some of y'all experiences.
I got kids.
All right, the calculator's not right here. Can you pass my phone off that chair real quick, please? Thank you. All right. So let's go with 55,000. Somebody said 55, right? All right, we're gonna go with 55,000. What's your name?
Luis.
Luis. All right, Luis needs $55,000 a year to live. I mean, in passive income to live scot-free. Pretty much, he ain't got to think about nothing because the money's coming in regardless, whether he go to work or not. That $55,000 a year is coming in. And what that does is it allows him to think more clearly, be more creative to create some of those NFTs you guys want to create, right? Have a little more flexibility. So the next question that Louise needs to answer is, okay, how much money or how much money do I need tied up into assets to generate $55,000 per year? So if you ask yourself that question, then any reasonable person should say, all right, well, it depends on how much I'm earning on those assets, right? Yeah. Who's in real estate? You in real estate? Cool. What's something I can expect to earn annually, an interest that I can expect to earn annually from rental properties?
I mean, you want to try to get to 10%.
10%? Okay.
How many properties you have, so.
Okay, 10%. Anybody else in real estate? Y'all agree?
That's what you want to get.
Yeah, minimum.
All right, cool. I'm just making sure we're on the same page. I'm just trying to see how much I got handicapped the crypto side. That's all. So 55,000 at 10%. So we're going to divide that number that y'all have. This is an example by 10%. You divide 55,000 into 10%. You now have a new number. That's 550,000. So at 10% a year, you need to have $550,000 worth of real estate producing 10% a year in order to live off of passive income. Right? That's your number, 550,000. All right? Now, that's what that one asset class has been proven, it works, it's made more people than we can count billionaires, millionaires, right? Now let's take a look at this new asset class called digital assets, right? We got this 55,000 number, and we say, okay, what can we earn realistically and I'm gonna show you guys, what can we earn realistically on crypto? All right, I'm gonna just pass this around. Don't go anywhere else. Just look at this. Don't touch anything. Just look at this, right? And I'm gonna give you a prerequisite of what you're looking at. When you guys see total returns, understand that that's how much money was made. I did an experiment. This is how much money that has been made in, I think this is actually the 30-day mark, okay? Right? And this is with the market going down. You understand what I'm saying? This cost me $11,000. Okay? So, back to this example, we got $55,000. In crypto, digital assets, we can typically find things that give us a higher yield because of, yes, increased risk, and the fact that they want to incentivize us to participate. So they got a great habit of just giving out money to people who adopt this space early, right? So what you're seeing right now is about maybe 115, 120% a year, right? Sounds like a Ponzi scheme, sounds like a scam, sound cap, don't it? But you got to see it. But like I said, real estate earning 10%, I'm a handicap to crypto. I'm gonna be realistic and say 115, 120% a year is not sustainable. I'm gonna say that, and it's not. Right? But while the getting is good, I do encourage you to get it while the getting is good and not overthink it. But let's level the playing field. I have some other assets. I can earn 20% a year on UST, which is a stable coin. That's like dollars in my pocket. I can earn 20% on that. Savings account, not doing that. Right? I can use Convex and earn 50%, anywhere from 40 to 60% a year.
What is it called?
Convex. Right?
What is the percentage again?
40 to 60. It's a variable. Depends on the price of the token. Right? So let's just say we call it 40%. I can pretty much consistently get 40% on my digital assets per year. All right? So let's divide this 55,000 by 40% and see what it gets us. $137,500 to be exact. That's your new number, Luis. Head down, you paying attention?
Yeah.
All right. That's your new number. You see that? And that's where the supercharged portion comes in at. Real estate works. I love real estate. I love business. But it's not from supercharging the way that crypto will, the way that digital assets will. You get more bang for your buck if you're smart with your decisions and you know where to focus at. We're not looking for Dogecoin, we're not looking for Shiba, we're not looking for Apecoin.
Bitcoin going crazy.
Yeah, but is it giving you passive income?
I'm not in, I'm just watching.
But it's not giving you passive income, and I need y'all to understand that. That's the most important thing that I'm trying to get y'all to,
Open up statements.
Right, so once again, it goes a little deeper than that. Because you can stake, but where are those rewards coming from? Apecoin is an ERC20 token, meaning that it operates on top of Ethereum.
And they're gonna open up a marketplace for it too. Because OpenSea has been basically OpenSea for the last couple of years. Looks Rare has come down. OpenSea just bought another platform actually. So the market is expanding. It's expanding. Mostly like that Shiba, Doge and all that. Yeah, there were the meme coins in 2020, and then now NFTs are coming in 2021. It's going to be another utility coming in 2022. And they're speaking about it now.
It's great. I want y'all to write this down. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. I don't care what utility they say they got, what platform they own. If it's not providing critical infrastructure to this metaverse or to this cryptoverse space, do not look for it from a passive income standpoint. Infrastructure, inside a structure. Meaning that in order for that structure to operate, certain things are absolutely required. The highways, the roads, all these things are infrastructure, absolutely required. That's what I look for in crypto. And that's why Apecoin isn't on my passive income list, whether they add staking or not. It's a lot of coins, it's 18,000 cryptos. I say at least 50% of them have staking abilities. But will I go to 50% of them to get passive income? No. It's maybe 5, maybe if I'm being liberal, 10 that I would look for dependable passive income from.
Are you locked in from a 6-month or a year perspective?
I'm locked in 21 days, 16 weeks, depending on which one it is.
Why do you use that duration versus?
That's the way the protocol works. In order for me to stake, where's my iPad at?
You said 16 weeks?
You had it for a while. You using it. Everybody else saw it?
You said 16 weeks? 21 days or 16 weeks?
21 days, 16 weeks, but those are just 2 coins. Those are 2 different coins. And what happens is, in order for me to earn on this one coin, on this one network, in order for me to earn on this one network, and that was just to show you guys that, once again, when I talk about crypto, I know you guys probably run into a lot of MLM guys and scammers and all this other stuff. This ain't that, okay? Every coin will have its own parameters. That's what makes the protocol a protocol, right? Set parameters that you must operate within. And oftentimes those parameters are set so that you're so that you aren't jeopardizing that network. So it's always going to vary based on what that protocol does. All right. But anyway, hopefully you guys have that formula, and now you're able to set a goal for passive income, and now you know what class of assets that will help you get there faster and supercharge your money. Y'all gonna pick it up one day though. It's all good.
For those of us who didn't see the iPad, what was on it?
It was just earnings. I'm earning a little more than 10% a month right now, and it cost me $11,000.
Is that all in one state, or is that
That's what you call a node. A node is one computer. A node is a computer that's running a program for a specific blockchain. And in exchange for giving that service, my computer is providing the service to this network. They're then delivering tokens to me every day under different requirements and stuff like that.
And that is completely different from people who do like yield farms and stuff like that. Or is it?
It's a similar concept. It's not. It is different. It is actually. It's a similar concept, but it's completely different underneath the hood. One is providing real infrastructure. The other is just something, a mechanism set up by the team to incentivize you to participate in an ecosystem, and they have an inflation schedule that they just set and it just goes.
Do you primarily only invest in nodes, or do you also do a combination of yield farming in conjunction with that?
So I do a lot of different things in crypto, but do I recommend you yield farm? Not unless you're experienced. It's not something I would advise you to do as a beginner. I'm talking about passive income. Yield farming is not really passive. You gotta be active. To really yield farm, you gotta be active. You might be in a yield farm a week, a couple days. You miss that exit. Bad business.
Would you consider something like helium passive or like super
Absolutely.
passive? But you still gotta maintain your
Helium
price.
is definitely passive. Helium is passive.
No, actually, I have a question. I want to wait.
Oh, what's up?
So this kind of goes away a little bit from passive, but let's just say if I wanted to purchase some digital real estate in the metaverse. Now, do you see that having the potential to, yield more returns than you would, let's say, purchasing real estate in real life?
So I think we're a little too early. I think a lot of people are looking for that, right? But I do think there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of potential from it, from virtual real estate in these different worlds, Sandbox, Decentraland, and there's a difference. You don't want to own land in the Horizon world. Meta, nothing against Meta. Nothing against Meta. But you don't own that. You don't own Meta. You own something in Decentraland, Sandbox, you own that. Those are NFTs. Those are yours. But we're too early for you to say that, okay, this land is better than real land. Because real land people live in. Real land we in right now, we using it. Right? So don't drink the Kool-Aid yet, not in that area. Wait until they show and prove and you see real use cases. Right? So, all right, so let's bring it around to NFTs and a little bit more about what I do. Right, so I started off doing the past year I was doing like courses and training and teaching and all this stuff, and it got boring. A lot of people started doing it, and I'm like, I'm not competing with these dudes. Dudes can't compete with me. Why would I compete with y'all? So I started building. started building because I realized after talking to everybody, right, I knew what they needed more than they knew what they needed. They didn't know what they needed. Y'all didn't know what y'all needed, so I figured it out for you. This is passive income, right? Y'all need passive income?
Yeah.
Exactly. So what I did, instead of making you go through whole courses and stuff like that, you gotta go buy this person course, you gotta go and watch 1,000 YouTube videos and do all that screen time and stuff like that. It's stressful. You don't want to be involved in that. So I created a pool that gives you access to some of those nodes that I was mentioning. Everybody don't have $10,000, $11,000 to invest in a node. Some people do. Maybe they don't have the technical skill. So I created a pool that allows you to earn passive income off of protocols that myself and my team have personally vetted and we're personally staking and participating in as well. Once again, that's what you saw on that note on that iPad. Right now it's no minimum. We are increasing the minimum. And right now it's earning about 9–10% a month. Compounding twice a week.
Why did you do a liquidity pool versus a DAO?
A DAO? How's a DAO gonna help you?
You can almost run it like, family office. You take a percentage of all of the funds that come in.
I do that with a pool.
So are you structured more like an alpha group?
What's an alpha group?
Guys who get opportunities ahead of time. Whether it's whitelist, whether it's...
No, it's not an alpha group because we want it to be proven. We want it to be working. We want to reduce our risk as much as possible. Anybody in here can go and take advantage of this opportunity. The reason why you would choose my pool is because you can compound. You can compound, you can get it with no minimum, you can know with no maximum, and you don't have to have any technical skills. You can definitely go do it on your own, right? Now this is where it gets interesting, because we are here about NFTs, right? So, currently, that pool is open to the public. Soon, that pool will not be open to the public. Guess who will be the only people who have access to that pool? There we go. What's your name?
Marco.
Marco's smart. I need to connect on him. Marco said it. Only people who will be allowed into this pool, people who have NFTs. Guess what? It's not the only pool. Earlier I said Ethereum can produce passive income. We're working on an Ethereum pool. Earlier I mentioned Convex. How many people have heard of bribes? Nobody ever heard of bribes. One of the best form of passive income in crypto. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Convex, money is coming from bribes, not staking. Coming from bribes, right? You get access to all of those things by being an NFT holder. Now let me show you how creative this NFT thing can get, right? Let me show you how creative this NFT thing can get. And each and every one of you, once again, I'm sharing this with you guys so that you understand how to get creative and create more utility from your NFT to make it highly desirable. There's only 2,100 of them, right? So let's say I have an NFT and nobody else in here has one, but you want access to this 10% compounding, right? I can give you access and I'll earn 5% of whatever you earn. You don't have that ability, but I do because I'm an NFT holder. And there's limited NFTs. You see how I created scarcity and value for my members? Everybody who holds that NFT? That's how creative you guys have to be. All right? So anyway, I've run out of time And hopefully you guys have taken something very important and valuable from this, mainly how digital assets can be used to supercharge your money and help you get to that passive income sooner rather than later, which ultimately helps you get to the good life, health, wealth, love, and happiness. Thank you guys. Have an amazing evening.
Thank you so much, Fitz. Give it up for him again. I just need a clicker real quick. Raise your hand if you learned something new today. Awesome. That makes me very happy. So we're gonna go into Q&A. But before we do this, just gonna walk through some calls to action. So if you scan this QR code, it will take you to a link tree. And from that link tree, you can subscribe to our newsletter. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. You can join our Discord. And you should also be able to follow us on Clubhouse. And again, I want to emphasize that our mission really is to bring people together so that they can learn, collaborate, exchange, and ultimately grow and prosper in this industry. Okay, it's really, really difficult to succeed if you don't have a network of people around you that can support you, whatever it is you're trying to do. If you're trying to launch a business, if you're trying to launch a collection, if you're a developer and you want to learn how to build on blockchain technology, right? You can't do it by yourself. The best way to do it is with a group of other people that can support you. So that's what we're building. We'd love for you to be a part of it. So follow us, engage us, participate in our programming, and contribute. We are also doing a giveaway of this NFT. It's by an artist named Fabian. He's a really prominent mural artist in Atlanta. He dropped a collection of NFTs. I believe there's 80 NFTs in the collection, and the floor price. Y'all remember what the floor price is?
1.5.
The price of the lowest, the price of the cheapest NFT in a collection. So the floor price in this collection is 1.5 ETH, which is right now around $4,500. So if you scan that QR code, it will take you to a survey. Would love for you to fill out the survey right here while we're doing the Q&A so that you don't forget. And in that survey, we're gonna ask you a bunch of different questions about your knowledge, about your interests, what are you trying to accomplish, right? This data is gonna help us follow up with you and figure out how we can support you or where we can direct you, okay? So I'm gonna leave this up. I think, yeah, that's the last slide. So I'm gonna leave this up and we're gonna jump into Q&A. Fitz, if you could join me back up here to help answer questions, and also folks in the audience as well, you're more than welcome to help answer questions as well. The topic for tonight is the metaverse. I feel like we touched on it, but we didn't go into incredible detail about the metaverse in particular. So if anyone has follow-up questions around the metaverse, let's start there. Anyone?
Are there any protocols that Fitz was talking about that's related to the metaverse?
Are there protocols related to the metaverse? Or nodes?
Gala nodes, what Jovanni had up here. Jovanni had Gala nodes. Gala nodes very expensive right now. Gala nodes are very expensive right now, but that's probably the closest that I would see that's connected to the metaverse. It's a couple more, it's a few more actually, but they're not. They're typically representing infrastructure. So it might be like cloud storage for, the metaverse or whatever, or for Gala nodes example, it's providing that infrastructure so the games can run in a decentralized way, so they don't have to depend on Amazon or Google or Infura, whoever. But yeah, there are some. But when you think of, and everybody has their own understanding of the metaverse. To keep the metaverse simple, I just say the digital economy, the whole crypto space, that's a part of the metaverse. not just NFTs, it's not just games. That whole digital economy where you can control your own data and information via NFTs or whatever, that's the metaverse.
Gotcha.
So nodes, do you also do like the mining operations? Do you got miners as well?
Nodes is what I would call the evolution of miners, right? Proof of work, which is what Bitcoin runs off of. You guys have heard the whole argument about, Bitcoin using up so much energy and all that stuff. And also it prices a lot of people out. In order to get a solid Bitcoin mining operation going, you gotta have $5 million to get started, right? So nodes is what's called, nodes are creating cryptos based on what's called proof of stake. Bitcoin is proof of work. Computers have to work. Proof of stake means that I gotta go buy these coins, lock them in this program, which is much less energy intensive, and I start earning income from my stake, from me staking those coins on that platform, on that program.
Another question?
So when you have those coins locked up, and when you take them out, what are the taxes like? Or like, how do you do that? I know that's a math, like all
Financial advisor.
You said what?
I am not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I did see a publication though.
Did everyone hear the question?
Taxes.
I did see a publication though that when you earn staking rewards, because that's property. You're earning, it's like having an apple tree on your property. You grow apples, you don't have to pay taxes on those apples, right? So when you're staking, you're earning more coins from those coins. That's your property. You're earning more coins from your property. So unless you sell those coins, you don't have, per the publication, research, you may not have to pay taxes on those. But you need to get a good account. But me personally, I'd rather make the money first, figure out how to do taxes later. Once you get enough, you're gonna be incentivized to go get your own personal tax strategy. You understand what I'm saying? Because everybody's different.
Quick question, in relation to his question, would staking be almost an equivalent to like buying a house and getting equity off the house? Like you're not paying more taxes or more?
It would be equivalent to buying a house and collecting rent from the house. Rent, that is also an asset.
With the cash flow.
Rent, that's an asset, a literal asset, not cash that's depreciating in your bank account, but a literal asset that has the potential to increase and decrease in value. If you do the right thing, although it may be volatile, you're looking for that asset to appreciate in value. So that house or that node that might cost you $10,000 today, it's gonna produce income. 1-2 years from now, that $10,000 node house could be worth 2-3 times more than what it is today. What does that say for the assets that house or that node is now producing? Those are increasing in value as well.
So would that be more like dividends on stock? Similar.
Be similar.
Well, so that must be.
Similar. I like using rent.
Rent, yeah.
Real estate. Dividends, stock, too much, get them once a quarter, couple pennies. I never really seen anybody be able to do anything sustainable off of $10,000 in the stock market with dividends. So I feel like we do it a little disjustice. We can't really do that in real estate, do it granted, but it's.
We've talked a lot about how to monetize in an investment space, but what about in a creator space? If we feel like that's not a viable option or not as viable an option?
I think that's a very valuable option. I gave you guys an example of how I use creative. I have an NFT. My NFT is creative. It has some dope art, right? And I just put a different utility. I expanded the utility for mine. Instead of just saying art, I say, I'm gonna give my community something that they can use. And that's how you gotta start thinking. There's thousands of NFTs out here just looking good. How many 8 NFTs we need? How many animal NFTs we need? We lack, for originality. Y'all creators create.
Real quick, for the survey, it had come down a little too soon. So for those of you who didn't get the QR code, we just put it back up. Who's never scanned a QR code before? All right, perfect. Just wondering. Yeah, so go ahead and scan the QR code, save it, fill out the survey while you're here. Let us know if you have any questions.
So, help me out. So NFTs, let's tie this into software platforms. I have a creative software platform that earns me a lot of money, right, consistently. So what would you do if you were in that position? Know what you know.
It's pretty great. Can you give me a little more information on the creative?
Creative is a platform, basically software as a service. So it's a SaaS software application that's generating income.
What do people use the software for?
Healthcare. It's in healthcare.
Okay, and are your clients other businesses or consumers?
Well, the consumer through the businesses. But ultimately, the end user is the consumer. But it's not tied to the consumer directly. It's basically tied to third-party businesses.
Right, so the business is the customer,
Right.
but the business's customers use your software.
Right, correct.
Okay.
It's a two-sided marketplace. Is it a two-sided marketplace?
Is it what?
Two-sided marketplace, like customers and businesses.
It can go, it's best to sell to the customers rather than go down to the consumers. So B2B.
So I have two thoughts, and I want to hear what you think, Fitz. I think one thing to consider is that NFTs may not always be relevant to a business, right? Like, it may not necessarily accomplish something particularly new or different from what you're already doing. So that's something to consider, and that's okay. I think in the context of healthcare, again, I don't know exactly what people are using the platform for, but one of the things that NFTs can be used for is to store data. You can use NFTs to store people's private data, personal data, any sort of data really that you want to. And so what we are, part of what I have kind of heard people exploring in the space is how to use NFTs to allow people to track their medical data. Because right now, if you needed to go and pull records, you have to go directly to the hospital or the doctor or whoever that you saw 5-10 years ago. So if you can store that on a token and own that token and take that token with you wherever you go, that can be one use case. And that data use case doesn't just apply to healthcare, but any sort of system where you have data that is your data that can be
So
tracked.
the question now becomes, how do you update that data?
Therein lies the problem. Very smart man. So, like she said, all businesses don't need an NFT. From what I heard about your business, sir, you do not need an NFT. You're going to confuse everybody. Right? But if you did want to be, more entrepreneur and start a new business that possibly put people's data on chain using an NFT, you would run into that exact same problem. You cannot update a smart contract. Can't update smart contracts. So medical records, I got a home healthcare agency as well, constantly updated. How do you update that? We haven't gotten that far yet. But you're thinking around the right line, because we do need healthcare records on blockchain.
One thing I would say, you might want to be very careful around HIPAA rules, because that could get you in a lot of issues. But just think about, on a more generic standpoint, NFTs can really lend a lot of value from a subscription type basis. So if you implement some type of utility with that NFT, it gives you a subscription type service. I think that might be a use case with it, right? And I think that's kind of that holy grail of having that ARR, that annual recurring revenue every single month with the utility attached to it. ownership of that NFT.
I don't think this business needs it though.
Yeah, I would agree. So I did an interview, a podcast interview with a company last year. I can't remember their name, so I'm gonna check my phone and get it for you. But this is a company that actually creates privacy data backed NFTs. And so these are NFTs that can store data, but they keep it private. And it's a new startup, they're up and coming. They have their own blockchain technology, and they are trying to disrupt the healthcare industry. So I will get that information to you. But one thing to remember is that even though many of the use cases of blockchain involve transparency, right? Bitcoin, for example, it is possible to use blockchain technology in a way where the data is actually private. It just depends on who's, it depends on who's building and who's using the technology. One of the things that I also learned is that companies like Royal Caribbean have been building their own blockchain technology that they've used for their internal systems behind the scenes for years now, right? Like blockchain technology is being used by companies, not necessarily to make money or to monetize, but because it provides some sort of, it solves some sort of problem. And so I would say you probably want to look at it more so from a blockchain technology standpoint than from an NFT standpoint.
Verizon doing something, like they have their own internal blockchain, at least for the communications part, I know, so that, say someone publishes a press release, they will know who edited it, when, and no one can ever say that that was the original press release that went out.
I was just saying that to piggyback on what she's just said, that I know that Verizon and probably a couple other big companies have their own internal blockchains so that you don't have a transparency issue, but there's still, you don't have the transparency issue as far as the consumer, but internally everything is visible and you can tie who did what at what time. But it seems like it would be challenging for the Muslim for sure, unless you're talking about something like vaccinations that doesn't really fall into HIPAA. I don't see how that would, that might be challenging.
We have any other questions?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Adam, work in the IT space, student grad promoting now at a consultant level. It's just a random question, just for my own mind's sake. Do you see a value in downloadable files being attached to NFTs? Do you see that as a benefit, a space to go for? Because in my end, for example, I've created a virtual instrument where I would like to sell it, but then in my mind, I'm thinking, should I just create it as an NFT and have that as its downloadable file? If you catch what I'm saying.
I wish Jovanni was still here. I think that's right up his lane.
Yeah, so you're saying if you have files, if it makes sense to turn those files into an NFT, even if you're not going to be monetizing it?
Yeah, for lack of a better term, let's just say zip files.
Yeah, so there's our podcast is called NFT Roundtable. So you can go to nftroundtablepodcast.com. There's a company that I interviewed as well. Their platform is called Sing, and their platform is for creators to become collaborators to be able to mint their files as NFTs and then collaborate. So, for example, let's say you have a group of musicians that are writing a song, okay? They're collaborating on this song. If you mint it on the blockchain and you track all of the collaborations, you can have it recorded forever who contributed what to the song and how that evolved over time. So there wasn't necessarily a way to, that service wasn't necessarily there for them to monetize it, but more so to just enhance their ability to collaborate and track who's contributing what. So again, there are platforms out there that aren't only focused on monetizing an NFT or selling NFTs per se, but for providing NFT technology that solves actual problems. Also, just to go back to the question about healthcare, so the company is called Oasis Labs, and the description I have for the episode is, Oasis Labs is a company building privacy technology on the blockchain, and the COO shares how she became the COO of Oasis Labs and the exciting ways in which Oasis Labs is helping regular people and consumers own and monetize their data through privacy-conscious blockchain technology. NFTRoundtablepodcast.com. Check out the episode.
Thank you. One other question. I created a video game for an artist, and I want to kind of take it to the next level. Does it make sense to make that an NFT game? I've been hearing like play to earn. Is that something to go for, or should I just have a video game URL link attached to the NFT? Is that possible?
What's the budget?
So if the game is already developed, is it possible to just link the URL to an NFT? And okay, so then it would have to be redeveloped as just solely play to earn. Or are there NFT games that aren't play to earn? Is what I'm saying. Because I'd rather have a game that's not play to earn.
You want a game that's not play to earn?
That's what I would prefer for the ease of just being feature based.
So you created a game that's not play to earn.
That's correct.
And that's what you want.
Yes, that's what I have out now.
It seems like your question is how can you integrate NFT technology into the video game,
Yes.
right? So you don't need to mint the video game as an NFT. What you can do is you can create in-game assets that are NFTs. Okay, so that means that within the game, right, if somebody's buying an avatar outfit or, digital fashion item or, a weapon or whatever, those items can be NFTs that are accessible within the game and that the users can trade.
Makes sense.
I'd like to add something to that though. You create NFTs inside that game. Why do I want that NFT? You understand what I'm saying? Economics. Crypto is all about economics. And that's another reason why I asked you what your budget is, because now you got to go hire somebody who understands economics. You got to go hire somebody who understands game theory. That's just two, right? You got to go hire an advisor who specializes in this. It's a whole list of people and a whole nother, that's a totally different direction. And to halfway do it, you'll be doing your client, in my opinion, a disservice, because now you got this game with NFTs that have no real way of, adding value if it's not play to earn. What do I want this NFT for? You got no value.
It's kind of make me think about these group of individuals that came to me. So I know someone who actually creates metaverses. And these group of young ladies, they actually wanted to open up a strip club in the metaverse. And so they were trying to think about, very interesting. They were trying to just figure out, different ways that, they would make money and how they would incentivize. So one creative way that I thought of on the spot was they can actually create dance moves. And those dance moves probably could be actually made into NFTs, and they can sell those dance moves to other dancers. Because like when you get onto that platform, you're going to be pretty much, confined to like certain movements. But if you create a movement, you can actually sell that movement. So that just made me think about it when you said that.
It's actually really interesting.
Where can you go to kind of find a core group of people who can manage a Discord?
That's a very good question. It's really hard to find, okay? There aren't a lot of agencies that provide that service. There are some that are popping up, but they're not necessarily easy to find or affordable. What I would suggest is actually using a platform like Fiverr or Upwork. That's one of the places where I've seen the most accessible agencies or groups that provide that kind of service. Again, with platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, it's a hit or miss.
Right,
I've
yeah,
never
so
tried it myself.
If you're trusting your entire community to someone who is not vested or and there's really no way to vet that individual, right? It's like, if I wanted to vet you, I could go to your LinkedIn account, I can ask some references. There's no one that big of a component of building a successful, executed NFT.
You can vet them on Upwork fairly well. You can vet them. That's not the issue. The issue is that you're trying to create a baby without being there. And that's when most people drop the ball, myself included. I had to learn the hard way. You want to build a Discord community, you got to be committed. You got to be extremely active.
Yeah,
And the best way to find those people who are willing to take over are people who you personally cultivate, who believe in whatever philosophy it is that you're sharing in that community, and you, just like you have a company or business, you promote from the inside. It's the same thing. You don't find somebody else from the outside to come in and their vision may not be aligned. It's too much risk.
I second that. I completely agree. We have a Discord community, and we have full-time community managers that manage the Discord. But in the beginning, it was just myself and my co-founder and some core team members. We had to figure it out on our own. And a lot of these platforms, that's what they do. You can hire someone to come in and build out your Discord community, but as someone, my company used to provide that service, and we stopped providing it because nobody on my team liked it. Like, nobody wants to go into some other person's Discord and try and fake engagement and build community. It's really not that enjoyable. I mean, to be honest, unless you have some sort of personal connection or personal tie. So I would recommend getting it started. You can find a Discord technician to actually set it up on a technical level, but the actual day-to-day curation of that Discord is gonna have to be from someone. It's recommended that it's someone on your core team that's connected to the project, and then as people come in and engage, the most passionate people will naturally appear, and then you can hire them. And I'm actually gonna give an example. So my assistant operations manager is actually somebody that bought one of our NFTs, came into the Discord, started engaging regularly, and then eventually just started helping out of nowhere. He just started helping people onboard and helping answer their questions. And then I reached out and I was like, hey, I see that you are really active in the Discord. What's your story? Had a conversation, got to know him, had multiple meetings, eventually hired him, and he's probably one of the best hires that we've made at my company. So that's just an example.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Christian. I run a Play to Earn gaming guild. And with game development, the Play to Earn games, 30 to 50% of the players are actually guild members who own massive amounts of assets and farm them out to players. So if the economics, to your point, aren't right, I can't invest money when I don't know my ROI. So if you're not willing to do that, I would not make a game. And to the Discord point, what I first need to do is go to Discord and see who's actually talking. And I get the vibe that someone's being paid to run the community versus who's being excited, I'll just walk away.
Also, Discord is not necessary for every project. That's another thing to consider. I think people are launching Discord way too often, prematurely, when it's not the right time. And if you launch it and it starts off dead, it can be really hard to pick up momentum. So I would say there's many ways to launch a community without having a Discord. At my company, we didn't launch our Discord until probably about 8 or 9 months in.
Did you start with Telegram, or you just didn't have anything?
No, we didn't have a Telegram either. We just had Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, and I mean, we were doing events, 5-6 days a week. We still do. So that was the main way that we connected with folks. Once we launched our Discord, we already had traction, so we were able to grow pretty fast.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice.
I want to remind y'all to, sorry, I'm going to come back to you real quick. I want to remind you to scan the QR code, fill out the survey. Again, it'll help us understand like what you're trying to accomplish so that we can funnel you to different opportunities or different parts of our ecosystem. And also, if anybody is interested in building on a more efficient platform, a more efficient blockchain than Ethereum, I highly recommend exploring Flow. Flow is our sponsor for this event. Just for context, so is anybody familiar with Dapper Labs? Okay, so Dapper Labs is a company that created CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties is one of the first NFT games, and it was very, very, very successful. It's basically a game where you can breed cats, okay? And it came out, it was very successful, but the founders realized that Ethereum was really inefficient because when there would be a rush of people trying to buy the NFTs, it would congest the network and it would make things very expensive and very expensive and very slow, which is not ideal if you want to scale your community to, you know, a significant amount of people. So they decided to build Flow blockchain, and it's designed for the masses. Their goal is to onboard billions of people into crypto and NFTs, and they also launched NBA Top Shop, if anyone's familiar with that. They also have a UFC platform. They have a number of different major brand sponsorships and partnerships, and Flow is actively looking for people to build on their blockchain and launch projects on their blockchain. And in many cases, depending on your project, they will sometimes offer money and financing for you to build on their blockchain. So again, if you're interested in learning more about Flow, if you're interested in learning just in general how to build on a blockchain like Flow or what the options are, I highly suggest completing the survey so that we can follow up with you on those opportunities. Question?
So I'm interested in like minds. I'm interested in, my name's Greg, by the way, everybody. I work here in entertainment, TV and film in Atlanta, but I'm interested in, you know, like rooms with like minds like this. I understand you do have a Discord, and you can speak to how we could stay in touch with the people here, whether that be through your Discord or whatever that would look like. And I'm also interested in anybody that is into graphic design and application creation. I have a really good idea that I think would also connect a lot of Black and brown community as well as Black-owned businesses and things of that nature. So that's something I want to digitize and potentially combine with Web3. So, and I'm here for a while, so you can connect with me if you like.
Yes, thank you, great question. So if you scan this QR code, it'll pull up our link tree, and you can find all of our links. Our Discord is discord.umbadynama.com. Our Discord is it's on the more complex side because we have people from a lot of different communities. We have people in Latin America, people in Africa. We have an NFT project that we've dropped called the Black NFT Art Rise Token, which is a private collectors club. We do programming. We get pre-sale spots for collectors. So for example, does anyone know of Nyla Hayes, the 13-year-old girl that dropped a collection called Long Necky Ladies, $1 million project. She just dropped another project that sold out. So we were able to get 100 pre-sale spots on that for that project for our collector group. We also have 111 pre-sale spots on a digital fashion project that's actually being launched by a fashion designer in collaboration with Chris Brown. So there's a lot of different opportunities that we bring to that club, and so we have that group on that Discord as well. So it's discord.umbadynama.com, and you can find it through the link tree. And I would say the best way to stay in touch with the folks here is to just keep coming out to our events. We do them every fourth Monday and every fourth Friday. So every fourth Monday is our workshop. Every fourth Friday is our social. We usually do social at some sort of bar/restaurant. We usually provide free food and free drinks at the beginning. We won't necessarily do that forever. So come now while we are providing some free food and free drinks. And it's just a great way to network and build relationships. It's been really amazing to see people who are artists or founders or technologists like come and just get to know each other and bounce ideas off of each other. Sometimes somebody's having a problem they're trying to solve and they need, and at these events, I'm hearing people in real time giving each other advice and feedback and suggestions. And so, again, like networking, building community, coming out consistently is, in my opinion, the best way to really find your place in this ecosystem and flourish.
What she said.
Any other?
You post all the meetups and locations and stuff like that on social media or in Discord?
Mm-hmm. Social media, the newsletter, Discord. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so as we get ready to close things down, like this is the time where everybody get up and whether y'all want to come talk to the speakers or y'all want to speak amongst yourselves. Like we have about another 20 minutes before we got to really close this place down. So I highly encourage y'all to connect with these individuals up here and also connect with each other. And then look forward to seeing y'all at the next social or the next workshop.
Also, thank you everybody. Give it up again for our speaker fit. You can find his information on our social media. We've been posting about our speakers. And if you want to get in contact with my company, our contact information is on the website.